The first step, and I want to show you this because this is where some people get it wrong. I'll hold it up for you. All I'm going to do is add in 3.5 tablespoons of the, if you can see it, it's just, that was probably silly, but 3.5 tablespoons of the gelatin powder, 1/3 cup of cold water. It's important that it's, or room temperature I should say, not warm water because it's quite heat sensitive. So you pour it in and then you just give it a quick stir. And this is what we call blooming the gelatin. Now, if anyone watched the last episode of MasterChef, last series, and Matt stuffed up majorly when he didn't bloom his gelatin. And so the dessert he was making, the gelatin didn't set properly. He quickly put it in without blooming it and it cost him dearly. But I'll show you what happens. It goes quite thick into a paste and then I'll hold it up in a second because it goes into like a sheet of rubber. So while you're doing that, always do that first for about 5 minutes and then I'm just going to try and light this. Oh, first time. Then, simple as this, I've got these recipes in the book as well. This is 1/2 cup of coconut cream in the pan. I've always wanted to do this actually. As a kid I used to pretend to do cooking shows in the kitchen and now I'm really doing it. I've just added in 1/2 cup of...
You're teaching yourself. I've done those as well.
This is amazing, I love this. And I'm just going to let it heat until it's nearly boiling. So you're kind of just letting the fruit or whatever you're using soften. That's 1/2 cup of... Yeah, so there's 1/2 cup of raspberries and 1/2 cup of coconut cream. Coconut cream. So just like a canned one. Yeah. Not yet. So this is the important part. The gelatin can't go in until it's finished blooming. So it's set. So you want to kind of just... Now my blender's not plugged in, so we're going to have to pretend it's working in a second. No, that's okay. I think they'll get the idea anyway. So I'm just heating it, but not boiling it. So I'm just going to turn it down. And I'll show you the gelatin because it should nearly be ready. Oh, it's nearly ready. So you can see, I'm going to hold it up. It's like...
Hold up these little fish.
See, it's gone like into a sheet. It's kind of like a mass of jelly. So it's really important that you let it get to that stage so that it's not liquidy. And this is kind of how gelatin acts in your body. So when we say it increases your absorption, I know it looks a bit manky, but it's when gelatin increases your absorption of nutrients and things, it has this action where it naturally wants to pull things towards it. And so the way the gelatin and the water interact is kind of like how it works in your body to, oh, it's boiling, to aid digestion. So once you've actually heated up whatever you're going to add, then you just plop the gelatin into it and it will slowly kind of dissolve. And I'll do that. And then once it's dissolved, you add it into your blender, which is switched on, and puree it, and I'll show you in a second. And then you pour it straight into your molds and pop it in the fridge. And that's all there is to it. Yeah.
What did you call those molds?
They're just a silicone ice cube tray. Yeah. So the cool thing with these is that you can pretty much do any flavour combination you want. I've made some that aren't as nice, but you can also fit them into your macros if you're counting macros. So if you're having a high carb day, you can get a really high carb, high protein gummy without including any fat. So for example, I know, I'm like, woohoo, fits my macros. So you've got the kiwi fruit ones, it's kiwi fruit and lemon. It's really zesty, like you eat it and you kind of, they're like those sour worms, but I actually really enjoy that and I feel like it's kick-starting my digestion. So people who have like a shot of apple cider vinegar in the morning or lemon and water, I have one of these when I get up before the gym, and it's kind of settles my tummy and I get that little bit of protein before I train as well.
Oh my God, can you make my macros for me?
I know, this is amazing.
It's like a macro pump.
Yeah. And someone posted recently on the Queen of Lean Facebook page, what's a treat I can do that's high fat or high carb? And I wanted to say, yeah, these are perfect. If you want like a fat one, good fat one I should say, coconut cream, you don't need to put any fruit with it. The second layer on some of these is coconut cream and cacao powder, and that's it. So you can get that little fat hit and your protein at the same time to make sure you're absorbing it properly. So you can play around with any combination. You can also add in some other prebiotic or probiotic foods, and by that I mean kombucha, vitamin C powder. It's just really important that if you're adding in anything that's living, so kombucha is it's got living things in there, organisms, then it's really important to not add it when it's hot. So if I was adding kombucha to this, I would let it cool and then I'd add in the kombucha before I put it in the fridge, just so I don't kill all that beneficial bacteria. Yeah, so let's just imagine that this had actually hasn't quite dissolved yet. You do need to give it a bit of a stir. As I pour it in, it will probably just give you an idea of what it should look like. And you only need to put it through the blender for maybe 20 seconds, but it's just liquid now. So that's all you need to, or you could use a stick blender in your pot if you've got a stick blender. So they are the gummies, and really good for kids' parties and things. We did it not long ago for my 4-year-old nephew, and we made it into worms by making a block and sticking a straw in it, and then we made like a chocolate mud, and the kids thought it was amazing.